Hello everyone, it's Leo and it's time to talk about episode 2 of MAGILUMIERE, Magical Girls Inc. Loved this episode. Once again, I think that the adaptation is going super strong and I'm very happy since I am a MAGILUMIERE fan. And before talking about the events of the episode itself, there are some things I want to say. The first one is that I love the close-ups of this episode. Everyone looks so pretty when it's a close-up art, especially Koshigaya. And I know I've been saying a lot of Hitomi because that's how I reference her, but in the show, people reference her more as Koshigaya, so that's how I'm going to go from now on. The only one that they reference to the first name is Kana. I mean, most of the characters, or actually Koshigaya says Kana-chan a lot, and so we have Kana on our minds. And, you know, the other characters are mostly referenced to their family names. So I love the close-ups, and I feel like Koshigaya is like the prettiest one when it comes to the close-ups. I mean, her design is amazing. She is amazing. I love her. The close-ups are amazing. I love the art. And I feel like this episode, it kind of has like two motives, two strong points. And one of them is when you have a specific knowledge, it's one thing knowing a lot about something, and it's another thing completely different, putting that something you know to motion, to action. Those are two very different things, and not everyone can make the two of them. And the other one is that when you are someone who is very peculiar, it's very hard to find people or companies or anything else that values you. It's hard to find it. It's hard to be valued by things around you. And when you find that, it is so fulfilling. I feel like this one is actually the theme of MAGILUMIERE itself. It is kind of the motive of the whole story. And I feel like this episode really showed it. So in this episode, we have Kana entering the MAGILUMIERE startup. And she is very scared. She's like, oh my god, why is this middle-aged man wearing a cosplay? Why is everyone talking so casually? This company is so bizarre. Why is that there's someone with a dark aura sitting there and he can't even look at me? What is going on here? And then she starts, reconsidering the fact that she's entered MAGILUMIERE. And she's like, okay, I think I'm not going to stay here. But then we have Midorikawa talking about the brooms. And, actually giving her a broom already. And that convinces her to stay. Because she thinks brooms are super cool. And she's like, oh my god, I just entered the company. I'm a newbie. But I'm already being treated like this. I'm already receiving a broom. And then Midorikawa says that it's because it's a startup. And so if they are a startup, they don't have the time to train people. Their employees don't have the time to be trained. They enter and they are already considered a pro, whether they are or not, which is Kana's case. And so Kana enters and she's like, oh my god. And she's like, I think that this was a funny thing about this episode. She was super emotional. Oh my god, I'm a pro. I am feeling so valued. And then he just puts all of the books in front of her. And he's like, okay, those are the manuals for the brooms that you have to read and study. And so this is a strength of Kana's character. And she is someone who reads a lot, and she's someone who can pay attention to lots of details on things. And so she starts reading. She starts, studying about brooms. And that is something that makes her happy. And that is also something that makes her feel valued as well, because she feels like it's kind of like a trust that the company is giving her. The company even buys more books for her to be able to study brooms, because Koshigaya tries to help her and teach her how to use a broom. But, Koshigaya and Kana, they are both opposite personalities. Koshigaya is someone who acts on instincts all the time. She does not know what she's doing, but she feels it. And so she knows what she's doing, but she can't explain what she is doing. And I love that about her character. And it's so funny. She's like, oh, for you to use a broom, you just have to go boom and pow. And obviously, Kana can't do it, and she has to focus on studying. And so she starts studying. She focuses a lot on that. But there's something about Kana's personality which is also her lack of confidence. She can study a lot, but she's she doesn't feel confident in this stuff, even though she has been studying, even though she focuses a lot on things. And obviously, that has a lot to do with what she's been through while looking for jobs. She's gone through lots of interviews, no jobs. And so she probably feels very undervalued. Her talent is an undervalue for her. It doesn't have much value for her because she's putting it to use and nothing has happened to her professional life. And now it is happening. And so she's reading, she's focusing on that, and then they receive a job. Usually a job would go to Koshigaya only, but both of the magical girl names from MAGILUMIERE appeared in the job. And then Shigemoto, the boss, was the one who actually put Kana's name there. And he tells her that he wants her to go to action. He wants her to take part in the mission. He wants her to learn things on field as an actual magical girl. And she feels like she won't be able to do it. She feels scared. Koshigaya is there by her side to give her a boost of confidence. And I just love how Koshigaya is someone you can rely on because she's always there on Kana's side whenever she's feeling unconfident about anything. And she's there helping her. She's not someone who will read a manual, but she knows that that is something that Kana likes doing, and so she's there. She is the one who gave the idea of buying more books for her. And so she is the one who is always by Kana's side, making her feel comfortable, making her feel that she has to give it her all. I love that about Koshigaya's character. Kana is like, okay, I don't know if I should do it or not. And Shigemoto tells Kana that when she was able to use the app in her first contact with MAGILUMIERE, she blew everyone out of the water because they were very surprised with the easiness she had to handle that app. And it was because she had studied that app prior. She didn't even know that she was going to need it, but she studied that app prior to that for her interviews. And for her, it was normal. It was something normal because she studied for that, and that was basic knowledge. And he told her, well, you were able to study, but you were not only able to study, you were able to capture your knowledge and put it into action. That is not something that everyone can do. That is a talent. And so she felt, again, valued. She felt that someone was putting worth onto her actions. And so that clicked on her, and she started, acting on it again. And she said, I will go. And so they both, the magical girls went. But before that, we had Kana's transformation scene. Oh my God. I found that scene so funny. First of all, because it was Kana's first experience becoming a magical girl. And it was I feel like it was very on brand. We had Nikomiya finally getting out of his comfort zone and getting close. And he was like, okay, I'm so excited. And she was obviously very scared because he was super, super hyper to put all of his knowledge into motion as well. He was ready to create new effects for the magical girl transformation. Just by looking at her, he knew how her body was, and he put everything into motion. And look, this is one thing that happens a lot especially in shonen magical girls, which is the case of MAGILUMIERE. It is very easy to get into a scene like this and add a lot of fan service. And MAGILUMIERE does not do it. I love it. It feels like a breath of fresh air in a way. I really, really love it. And in Kana's transformation in this episode, we had a lot of callbacks to iconic magical girl transformations, I feel like. I saw a lot of Sailor Moon there. Like, I saw some Chibi Moon poses. I saw a very iconic Sailor Moon pose as well. Very pretty. I think that they are really giving it all to everything in this show. I love it. And the transformation itself, it was very pretty. They kind of kept the same style that they gave to the Koshigaya's transformation. But in Kana's transformation, it felt even more classical magical girl and less tech magical girl, and very pretty. Unfortunately, we had not really unfortunately, because it was funny, we had some interruptions in the middle of the transformation because she did not know what to do. It was so funny. And Then she completed the transformation and it was super pretty. I feel like we are getting a full Kana transformation with no interruptions and full scenes, and we need an actual Kana introduction, introduction phrase after she transforms. We need that. And I hope we will get it. But the transformation was really pretty. I really liked it. And so they both transformed and they both flew. So this was Kana's first experience after studying a lot on the broom. And she was being able to fly normally, no issues, but she was having to focus 100%. It was completely different than Koshigaya. But, she was able to break free of the 100% concentration when she saw herself. When she saw her own reflection and she looked at herself and she saw a new Kana there. She saw a woman that after studying a lot was able to put a lot into practice, and she is now a magical girl. She has a lot of worth. And I love that. And when they get to the actual mission, we see Kana taking a step back. And we see Koshigaya dominating the action. Obviously, this is Kana's first experience in a mission like that, but it's always interesting to see Koshigaya in action. Oh my god. She's not only good at the action part of things, but she's also very good at the human part of things. She looked at the building and then she thought, scan the building. There might be someone inside. And they were like, oh, they said there was no one in the job hunt. They said there was no one inside. But she was like, scan it. Do it. And then they did it. There was a human there. And she saved the human in the coolest way possible. And she started, acting to destroy and capture the Kai while Kana was watching. But while Kana was watching, she is very observant. And she noticed something on Koshigaya's broom. Koshigaya's broom is a replacement. That broom is not actually her broom, because her broom was eaten in the first episode. And there was a malfunction going on with her broom, and Kana noticed it. At the same time, Koshigaya was doing a lot of magic spells and also holding the man that she saved, and the Kai was attacking her. She had to give it her all, and the broom was not functioning properly, and she started being in danger. And then Kana started like, okay, I need to do something, but what can I do? I have never done anything. And one of the things that she never learned was to actually use magic spells, because the only thing she learned was to ride a broom. But Kana is a bookworm. And so for everything she studied, she found something in one of the books giving a broom a magical spell. So brooms are not only for flying, they have multiple effects. They can do multiple things. They have a lot of tech in them. And so one of the things she read was actually that the brooms can have a magic spell. And she knew how to activate it because she studies things. And so she learned how to read the situation and to actually analyze the situation and get it together with everything she studied, put them together and create a plan. And that's what she did. And so she was able to save Koshigaya. She was able to take the weight off from Koshigaya because Koshigaya did not need to fight the Kai anymore. Kana was able to get her energy, the energy of her broom, and to use a magic spell. This magic spell dispelled the Kai, and the Kai was able to get captured by Koshigaya. Obviously, Koshigaya, she could do it. And so it was a moment in which Kana was able to put everything into motion and to actually act on what she studied. And that, again, felt her feel valued, felt her feel worthy, and it also helped Koshigaya a lot. And I loved that when Kana was talking to the guys in the corporation, in the startup, she was telling things and they were like, oh, we can't let her do it. She's just someone who's learning things. And that's the same thing that Koshigaya said. And Shigemoto told Koshigaya, look, we got her because we needed a new magical girl to help you. Think about that, because, it was everything from MAGILUMIERE in Koshigaya's shoulders. And now they're not anymore. She has someone she can rely on as well, and that is Kana. And when Koshigaya sees Kana, performing the magic spell, she smiles, and it's such a big, beautiful smile. And Koshigaya trusted Kana since the first moment they started acting together. Koshigaya is such a good friend, a good colleague that you should have at work. And that is not something easy to find. So it was really lovely. And then we have the president, Shigemoto, crying at the end. Midorikawa was also crying because they were very happy that they were able to find a new recruit for MAGILUMIERE that has some sort of the same spirit that the company has, and was able to fit in the MAGILUMIERE routine. Even though Kana got back into the office, she finally shook hands with Shigemoto, but she obviously felt scared because, Shigemoto started crying, Midorikawa started crying, all because now they have two magical girls in their company. MAGILUMIERE is growing. They are being able to become the dream that they envision. It's becoming true. I love it. And Shigemoto was talking to a higher up, someone who is a big name in all of the magical girl thing. And that person was, telling him that he couldn't do what he did. He couldn't allow a new magical girl to take the front stage like Kana did, because that would be dangerous and everything. And that would also disrupt what the companies of magical girls do. But as he said, a startup is there to break traditions and to create their own way in the world. And I love it. And I feel like it's such a great conclusion for this second episode. And, Kana is starting to get used to the ways of MAGILUMIERE. It's not going to be from day to night, from night to day, but it will take some time for her for sure. Because different than the others, I feel like all of the four of them, they have some screws loose. For sure, some of their screws are totally loose. Like the four of them, their personalities are so out there. And then there's Kana, even though Midorikawa is more on the normal side, but you can see that he's not really. He has some loose screws, definitely. And then we get Kana. Kana is very normal. She is very basic. But not really, because her personality, her real talent, and her ability makes her very unique as well. And then that is why I feel like she has the spirit of MAGILUMIERE, because she is also very unique. She's also very peculiar. And MAGILUMIERE lets her be like that. MAGILUMIERE accepts it, embraces it, and makes it the best out of what she has to offer. And I love it. Obviously, it's very idealistic. The working world, the corporation world is not like that. But I just loved seeing that in an anime like this. It's so cool. And I just love that it's a magical girl show. I mean, could it be better? I don't think so. Anyways, I am keeping on being very happy with MAGILUMIERE because I'm just loving this adaptation so much. I'm just having so much fun getting home every Friday after work and, enjoying myself with a show I love and with an adaptation of a show I love. And I am loving this so much. Are you liking it as well as much as I do? Please leave a comment. Let's keep talking about this second episode, this story. It's just gonna get better. Anyways, babies, this is it for now. I want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you're a member, thank you very much for your support here on YouTube, for your support on Patreon, on Throne. Thank you very, very, very much. And if you've watched up until now, thank you so much as well. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.